Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're arriving at our destination shortly.
It's early as shit. It's early as shit. I can't believe I'm streaming this early. I can't believe I'm streaming this, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I don't care what you say. I'm doing it. Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of the All About Aviation channel. Sometimes we're not about aviation. Sometimes we're about other things. But today we're all about aviation, or at least right now we're all about aviation. So I've been wanting to try this airplane out for a while. The as I call it, the base bitch 787, the one that comes with Microsoft 2024. So there's really like two liveries to choose from. You have KLM and you have this one. I didn't see any. Man, really, Asobo? Really? But really though? Like, for reals, are we like looking at the tail like with a rear view mirror? Is that why it's written backwards, so like other planes can use their rear view mirror and see it properly? I mean, come on, Microsoft, for reals. Hit like and subscribe. Just do it. Just do it. So we have the FSLTL traffic injector on. Is it backwards here? Oh, at least it's the right side here. You know why that is. So like, if you have spent a fair amount of time in Forza 5 creating your own like custom paint jobs and shit. Hey, what's up Morning Ivan, how you doing? If you've spent any time in Forza 5 creating your own liveries, your own paint jobs on the vehicles and shit, you know, like when you put decals and stuff and certain things, you have to, when you copy and paste it, you have to reverse it. That's exactly what whoever created this livery just forgot to hit the reverse button, which is why the port side of the airplane is incorrect. Now, I don't know if GSX is going to work or not. We'll find out. We'll find out here in a minute. If it doesn't work, it's no big deal. I do want to do, before we actually get in the airplane, let me pull this up here. Let's make this large. Doing kilograms. We'll do liters. Okay, I want to look at the flight plan real quick and just see what our weights and stuff are supposed to be. Let's go to sim brief and let's view. Okay, so our fuel. Let me write this down actually. So our fuel is supposed to be 21,007 kilograms. And let's see here. We have 228 peoples. 7 cargo. And our takeoff weight is 181. All right, let's set this up. Since we are in Microsoft Asobo, you know, we're not like in PMDG or Inabuilds where we can build it in the we have to build it actually on the tablet here. So let's build this on the tablet real quick. All right, flight performance, mass and balance. Let's go to fuel first. Wow, so they got us kilograms. All right, we'll put in that. That's close enough. Cargo, only have like 7,000. Cargo, let's put. All right, and seats. All right, that's close enough. And our takeoff weight is supposed to be 181. This is close enough because our empty fuel weight is different. They got 134 there, and it's different in Sayintentions. So, all right, let's do that. This is a fairly short flight. It is a real flight. I'll show you in a minute where I got the idea from this flight. All right, loading failed. Try again. All right, let's try again. All right, that was good. That's good. And let's load this. Okay, let me bring up display. Oh, display capture's already on. Very good. Okay, so here's the flight here. Taipei to Seoul, about 2.5 hours long. I don't know if we're going to be landing on the same runway. This was 15 right, I believe. It all depends on the weather at the time. As you can see, it's a little stormy here, but yeah, it's a real flight. Here's the tail number. Took off from gate A5, which is where we're at right now. We're at gate A5. So let's get back in this thing, and there will be sound. The sound, there's no sound right now because we're outside the airplane, but there will be sound here in a moment. Okay, let's put this tablet back to regular size, and I do want to bring the flight plan into here as well. Let's go ahead, import this. We don't have to. You don't have to do this, but we're going to. Just because I like using the tablet as much as I can. I mean, sometimes it's really good for weather and charts and stuff like that. Sometimes not so much. All right, let's go ahead and get Sayintentions pulled up here. Okay, very good. Let's get in the airplane. Now, I do have seats saved already. They should still be saved. Yeah, and one thing I do like about this airplane is you can actually park yourself outside the airplane, which is nice. Like one of these, my fingers will reach. Yeah, I have it like on the nose here. So not a lot of airplanes you can do that with. I kind of like that where you can be outside the airplane. Let me make sure both of my throttles are separated. All right, we got 1 and 2. Okay, awesome. All right, so ground power is already connected. So let's go ahead and put the batteries on. Well, battery. So battery. And then all the external power. 3 buttons. Emergency lights are armed already. Let's go ahead and align the IRS. Okay. Now, in real life, I don't think the systems are going to come up that quickly, but they do in this airplane. Let's get the speed brake out of the way. All right, let's set our position. Next. That should be right. Let me pull up sim brief. Okay, let's look at the so we have north 2504. All right, yeah, that's close enough. Copy and paste this. I mean, if I don't know, you know what? I don't know if we can actually, you know what? Hang on 1 second. Let me try something. I don't know if we can actually do this. I don't know if we can actually type in the actual, let me, bear with me. Let me pause this real quick. I haven't tried this before in this airplane. Let me see if we can. Let's go back here. Let me pull up Navigraph real quick. Let me pull up charts for Taipei, and let's see if we can actually get the coordinates for where we're parked at. Parking bays, coordinates. Let's see here. Okay, We're at A5, so we have north. Let me see if we can actually, I don't think we're going to be able to type this in, but let's see if type it in. We have and I mean, if the one that's in there right now is close enough, that's fine. N2505.0, and then we have east 121.14.2. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna be able to type this in or not. We'll find out here in a moment. Okay, zoom. Okay, let's clear this out. Oh, you know, that's close enough. 2505, 124. Oh yeah, this is like dead on. Okay, so just click on it, click on that. Now it's in there. You can hit enter if you want, or execute. You can put the airport if you want to, so it's RCTP. Ooh, you know what? No, I forgot about that. Let me go back to this tablet. Let me unload this airplane. And okay, let's do this. I forgot. I'm gonna try to use GSX. Okay, load aircraft. Okay, fuel balanced. All right, let's and then let me go ahead and say intentions again. Okay, let's get GSX up here. Let's try to do this. Okay, request fueling. We'll use
refueling truck is on its way.
And let's go ahead and request boarding.
Boarding requested.
Excellent. All right, here comes that. Oxygen on yet? Work? No, it doesn't. Nope. It was a nice thought. All right, initialize flight. Performance. All right, we'll bring in the flight plan data momentarily.
Do you want to board crew?
I do, actually.
Pilot's boarding starting.
All right, let's get our flight plan set up here. So we're going to go to route. And we are going to do RCTP.
Fuel truck is in position. Crew boarding starting.
Okay, and let's just do 50%.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
RCTP. RKSI. Flight number is AAL.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin
186.
inserted.
Activate. Execute. All right, go to departure. And see. Yeah, I like this tablet, but I don't really trust it to actually input the flight plan from. So let me bring up tell you what we'll do here. I wasn't going to do Navigraph here, but I guess I will. I'm not a big fan of Navigraph on this tablet.
Your crew has boarded.
Let me make this bigger,
Passengers boarding starting.
and I'll shrink it back down again. Okay. Hey, that's the wrong flight plan. That's the wrong one. Here we go. All right, 23 left and Piani 1B. So let's go to 23 left. Piani 1B. Execute. Then for our route, go to next page here. And let's actually look at our flight plan.
This way, please.
We have L3 and Salmi. So let's type in.
Arrow.
Yeah, this is not going to work. This tablet. Let me.
May I see your boarding pass, please?
I can slide over. All right, L3. Say LMI is what it looks like. MI on the right side here. Then we have Yankee 743. EOLUT. Have Yankee 741. Oh, before let me get the APU started, because I've had this before with GSX where they turn off. They'll disconnect the ground power source. So let's go ahead and turn on the APU. I try to hold this button for a couple of seconds if I can. And APU should be up here if we click on electric. See the APU start up here. Okay. You can actually hear it, which is pretty cool. Okay, a toady. Okay, 8 T I. We have Yankee 722. Then Ullman, which is looks like that's our transition. So since we're typing it in and also choosing it for our arrival, there's a good chance that the waypoint's going to be in there twice. So let's see. Okay, so we have. Let's go back to departure arrival. Click on arrival. Go to our next page. Here we have Ulma 2H. And we have ILS 15 right. ILSY 15 right. And Moonan. And execute. Alright, very good. So our route is in there. Let's shrink this back down. Let's get on Sayintentions again. All right, let's find out what our... Oh, let's make sure our radios are... Volume... Okay, VHF is on. Door button doesn't work. We do have a door button up on top though. All right, ATIS, let's put that in.
Port instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Lima. Taiwan Dalvin International Airport.
All right, so we have information Lima.
1200 Zulu. Wind 270 at 3. Visibility 6.
All right, let's contact clearance.
Sky conditions. View at 1500 feet. Scat.
Oh, it doesn't switch comms automatically. Are you kidding me?
VE left.
Oh, maybe it does. Hang on a second.
0 feet.
Oh, it
Scattered
does.
At 6,000 feet. Broken at 2,000 feet.
Okay, all right, let's type in 121.7.
01. Density altitude 1900.
All right. Taipei clearance, Air Koryo 186 requesting IFR clearance to Seoul. We have information Lima. Good morning. Or good afternoon, actually.
One second, while I grab the paperwork.
All right, while they're doing that, let's check out our flight plan and make sure it's all connected. So let's click on plan. You can click on this EI cast button to make the whole screen bigger.
Information Lima is current. Cleared to Incheon via the PN1 Alpha departure. Then as filed. Departure runway 05 right. Initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 119.5 squawk 5562.
Cleared to Incheon via the Piano 1 Alpha departure, then is filed. Departure runway 05 right, initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 119.5 squawk 5562. Air Koryo 186. All right, let's change our departure real quick.
Air Koryo 186, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.6.
All right, so we are gonna erase departure 05. Oh no, he said 05 left, I think, didn't he? Oh no, he did say 05 right. Okay, 05 right. And we can still do the piano 1A. Okay, excellent. Now let's take a look at our map here. We can actually make this a little bit farther out. We're gonna click on range and just get a little bit. Let's click on legs. And we're just gonna step through this. There's this step button on the bottom right. Let's just step through this. Now, if you have DLSS and you're having a lot of problems with ghosting, like where the lines are taking a while to get away, or like it's just not real smooth like this is right now, I'll show you in a minute how to fix that. Bear with me one second. Let me just make sure that this all works. Just want to make sure there's no vectors and no discontinuities. Now, when we get around here, I think this is the beginning of our arrival. We may be getting vectored from Sayintentions. They're usually pretty good about vectoring in. All right, our flight plan looks pretty good. Okay. Before I set up this initialization page, let me show you. Well, first of all, if you want to get back to the beginning of the flight plan, just click on legs again. It'll bring you back. We're going to click on map, and let's click on ECAS again. Okay, so that's all good. APU, let's make sure that's on. We're going to put the generators on. That turns off. The outside power. Turn our packs on. Get some airflow in. Let's lock the door. Our nav lights on. We should have put those on in the beginning. Seatbelt signs. Ventilation. Okay, all that looks good. All right, let me show you. So if you're getting that ghosting, let me show you how to fix that. And I can't believe how simple it is. It blew my mind when I saw the video on it. Okay, display capture is still up. So let me get into folder. I don't usually ever stream this early. I didn't really sleep at all last night for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, come back to your local cache. The local cache page. Come to this page here, okay? Go down to where it says user cfg.opt. If you double click on this, open it up in your notepad. And then come down here to secondary scaling. Right? And right now, if you look at it, it's probably got a value of a 1 right here. Well, if you change that to a 2 and then save, that should get rid of the ghosting. I don't know why it works. I don't know why, but it does. It's actually helped a lot. Because really the only other way to get rid of it is to go into settings and change this NVIDIA to TAA, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, but yeah. So that's cool. Really, bitch. All right, we can turn some of the graphics down. You don't scare me. Don't scare me. Can turn this down a little bit. Oh yeah, this is all on ultra. Yeah, let's turn this down a little bit. Okay, we can turn this down. I usually keep this at like 115. I don't really know if it makes a difference or not. 115. And we can put this to high as well. All right, very good. Let's do our pre-flight. Before we request clearance for taxi, let's go ahead and get our performance set up. So for this, I'm going to use briefing panel. This is a free mod available on flightsim.to. Okay, so let's see here. 0 fuel weight. Okay, cruising altitude. I think it's 39,000. Is that right? Yeah, 39,000. So FL 90. We have a cost index of 139. Execute that. We have a 0 fuel weight of 160.6. Oh, this is all in pounds. Oh, ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. Alright, this is what we can do. Let's go in here. Let's go to SimBrief. Let's edit this flight. Let's put this in pounds. I thought it, you know what? I thought about putting it in pounds because it's Boeing, but I was like, nah, they're over in Korea. It's probably in kilograms. So that's what I get for thinking. All right, generate. All
All
right.
aircraft information mic is now current. QNH 1002.
Here, let me turn them down a little bit. Okay, so now we have it in pounds. Let's re-pull this into briefing panel. Fetch. Okay. There we go, 46. So we got a lot more fuel than we really need, but that's okay. Takeoff weight. Here fuel 354. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. I had the one in there from. All right, 354. And reserves are. Let's see here. Let's say 7. A cruise center of gravity. Probably on our tablet over here. Let's see if it's on our tablet. 26, it looks like. 26%. Okay, let's go to thrust limiters. And let's go ahead and see if this thing works here. So copy data from FMC. Okay, conditions, we have wet. Thrust rating is going to be optimum. Flaps are going to be optimum. Anti-ice we'll have off. And gravity, let's put in 26. Okay. And wind, let's see here. Come up to here. Let's go to weather. We have 270 by 3. And outside air temperature. Wow, it's 27. That's pretty. I didn't think it was going to be that warm. Okay, and then we have. How many hectopascals is that? What my? I tell you what I can do. Let's go up here. Let's change our barometer from inches of mercury into hectopascals. So we can just click on this. Now it's on hectopascals. It shows right here. Let's bring that down to 1001. After we get it on 1001, we're going to click on that hectopascals again. Right, so now just click on here. Now we have it. So now we have 2957. $29.57. All right, very good. Now we can calculate. Okay, flaps 5. Let's do, oh, it does have a temperature. Okay, never mind. Okay, so 49 degrees Celsius. And we have D rate 2. So let's put in 49 degrees. Rate 2. That's at 58 and we're at 3. Okay, that's fine. Let's go now to takeoff. Put in, go actually to this page here. And outside air is 27 again. Let's put that in here. Runway wind was 270 by 3. Just plug that in, 270 by 3. Go back here, let's put in 5 flaps. This gets pulled in automatically. And here we go, 150. And that's a little bit more than what it asked for, but it's fine. A lot of the other planes like Inabuilds and EMDG and shit like that, you can click on this request here and it'll fill it in automatically. But okay, so we have 161. We're going to add 10 to that when we plug in here. So let's put this at 171. We'll do B2 plus 10. Flight director's on. They're both on. Okay, excellent. Let's contact the ground and get clearance for pushback. The ground is 121.6.
XQNH100. RO02. Density altitude 1900.
See, that's interesting. It doesn't show that
Arriving and departing runways
it
5
changes the
left,
frequency.
5
It just
right.
goes from one side to the other. I have a button programmed on here where it'll switch from standby to active, and it's just not flipping the frequencies, but oh well, whatever. Taipei ground, Air Koryo 186 requesting pushback and engine start clearance.
Air Koryo 186, pushback and engine start approved. Face southwest.
Okay. I'm not even sure if I have fuel in the center. Do I have fuel in the center? Let's see here. Oh yeah, we do. A bit. Okay. Now, one thing we need to make sure that we change is this. We need to make sure that we're in the green before we take off. So, okay. Let's get GSX to push us back.
Locking gear.
And 5 right, I want to say, is... I think it's... Oh, we gotta go all the way over here. Shit. Alright, you say nose southwest, so we're gonna make nose to the right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Alright, let's release parking brakes.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Oh, let's put our speed brake all the way down again. Alright, let's fire up the first engine. Now we're waiting for N2 to... Sometimes it says motoring. I usually wait until like 20 or 25 before you introduce the fuel. Let's see if it says motoring. No, it doesn't. Okay. Some fuel in. And we're gonna have a little bit of a taxi today. You don't really hear a whole lot of the engine, do you? Kind of disappointing. All right, we just got an error message from GSX. Are they still out there? Okay, that's good. They're gone. Let's put the parking brake on. Start up the other engine. That's a little disappointing that we don't really hear much of the engine. But yeah, right now we're waiting for this to get up to about 25-ish. Sometimes it says motoring. I know, like in the 737 Max, it'll say motoring. Okay. Transponder. Graphic doesn't work on here. Graphic doesn't work on here either. Okay. Throw in hydraulics. Anti-ice on auto. Logo, taxi lights. Okay, well, that's good. Let's make sure we can turn off the APU. Alright, we got good generators. Let's go ahead and turn off the APU. Alright, window heats. See if traffic is done through here. Oh, you know, we're probably gonna have to do these checklists. Hang on a second. I think we're gonna get an error message if we don't do checklists here. Checklist. Normal. Override. Override. Put our flaps down to 5. Okay, very good. Info, systems, for air, fuel, flight controls, gear. That's that. There's usually a traffic button. Turn on traffic, but do not see it. Okay, it's on now. All right, very good. All right, so we're good to taxi. Let's get clearance for that. Taipei ground, Air Korea 186, requesting taxi clearance to runway 05 right.
Air Korea 186, taxi to runway 05 right via Papa Whiskey 1 Sierra Sierra 1.
Taxi to runway 05 right via Papa Whiskey 1 Sierra Sierra 1, Air Korea 186. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's get briefing plan back up. Get this map out. And let's just kind of see where we need to go. Not that it makes a huge difference because, you know, it is a simulator. Okay, so it looks like we're coming down. We're right here. So we're just gonna go down Papa till we get to Whiskey 1. And then we have Sierra. The Sierra 1. Alright, very good. Let's get out of here. Alright, parking brakes released. Make sure our controls are good. Okay, very good. Cabin crew, will you please welcome our guests today and go over to safety protocol, please?
Air Korea 186, please confirm your request.
I'm very disappointed that there's no sound from the engines, really. That really sucks. We still need to fix. I'm not happy with that stabilizer. Let me see if I can fix that while we're... Okay. Yeah, now it's in green. If you look down here, now we're in the green. So that's good. I must say though, like the headwinds 787, the engine sounds are much better. I think even the 787 in 2020 has better engine sounds than this. Like it is so, you know, let me make sure it's not a setting that I have. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure it's not like some stupid setting for sound that I have. Yeah, I just got character voices, other aircraft, environment. The other night I got them all the way up, so okay. Yeah, I tried to sleep last night, just couldn't really sleep. So decided to plan out a couple of flights. Ooh, look at that. Is that TNT? Oh no, that's not TNT. Linko. I am doing a flight in X-Plane later today. Q400 flight that I have planned out in Australia. And we should probably program the tower in. Let me program the tower. Tower. We can put on LNAV now. We can put on VNAV. Arm those. Ooh, an MD-10. Nice. This is cool. Good job with this, Microsoft. Seriously, no troll, Microsoft, no troll. Seriously, that's pretty cool. Now, if we could click these buttons here for the ATC, that would be even better. I'm not really sure what our transition altitude is. I'm sure it'll show us in the system. Man, I tell you, every time I fly, there's always an airplane, something on the ground. There's always something that wants to play chicken with me. Every time, without fail. And here we go. Here's EVA Airlines. Here's EVA Airlines flexing on us. Yeah, let's get out of the way. I'm sure we can go right through them. I'm sure it's not going to make a bit of a difference, but they can flex. Go ahead, Eva. We'll give them the right of way. Yeah, man, starting this airplane up is pretty damn simple. You know, it's just pushing a few buttons. Entering the flight plan in is as easy or as difficult as you want to make it. I don't see a way to like bring it in like having it come in automatically like it does with InnoBuilds or PMDG or one of those, but maybe one day they'll come up with something like that for these planes, for these, as I call, base bitch planes. I'm a little upset that our flight crew hasn't announced anything. I have Lee from Korea as our flight crew. They're right here. See? Oh, I never chose it. I never chose a language. Maybe that's why. All right, let's try to have him. See, here we go, another airplane. Hey, Lee, will you welcome our guests and run through the safety protocols, please? No? Nothing? Well, fuck it. At least the ATC is working. All right, we never did set the auto brake, by the way. When you're taking off, you got to put this on RTO. Forgot to do that. All right, we're getting ready to pull up on Sierra. Wasn't that bad of a taxi. Whoa, hey, what's up, buddy? Wondering if I should change the flight attendants. We'll just change them. I usually... Now, you know what I'll do? I'm going to leave the Korean in there. And this is Sierra 1. That's where we're getting ready to pull up. See Sierra 1 with an arrow right there. Alright, strobes on, landing lights on, pretending like we're dinging the cabin, ding ding. Alright, I think we have the tower programmed already in. Let's see if we have the tower. Taipei Tower, Air Koryo 186 holding short runway 05 right, ready for departure.
Air Koryo 86, Taipei Tower, runway 5 right, winds 280 and 3, cleared for takeoff.
Cabin crew, take your seats for departure. Yeah, man, Sayintentions, man, you guys are slacking, man. I used to talk really highly about Sayintentions a lot. Like, I was a fanboy for a while, but I'm not like a fanboy anymore. Sayintentions, you guys have like, it's not good anymore, really. Not in all areas of the world. Like, it's really good in America. Like, it's awesome in America and most of Europe. But when you get into Asian countries, Australia, not so much. I got this pedal cranked all the way. We made our turn a little bit late, but that's all right. All right, let's roll, bitch. Oh, we gotta set the auto throttle. Go power set. Takeoff power, actually. Under knots, cross check. B1 rotates. Positive rate, gear up.
Air Koryo 186, contact departure.
Contact departure, Air Koryo 186. Flaps up. Taipei departure, Air Koryo 186 currently climbing through 3,000 feet for flight level 390.
Air Koryo 86, Taipei departure, radar contact, direct Tango Papa 064.
And we're still flying manually. Flaps are now up fully. once we straighten out, I'm planning on putting on the autopilot once we level the wings out.
Air Koryo 86, Taipei departure, climb flight level 230.
Climb flight level 230, Air Koryo 186. Autopilot on now. I still have this yoke pushed like all the way forward. See, as soon as I start releasing it, okay, I think we're good now. Sometimes these base pitch planes, when you put it on the autopilot, sometimes the trim is out of whack a little bit, and when you start releasing the yoke, it like what just happened where we just like aimed the wrong way. We're okay now though. Let's see what our transition altitude is. 11,000 feet. So we can now turn off our landing lights. And let's go ahead and do standard pressure. Let's click on the standard button here. There we go. Put this up. Now we can go chill. Not very loud, the engines. It's really upsetting. I was really hoping, like, the engines on Aerofly on my iPad had better engine sounds than this. Do you think I'm bullshitting? I'm not. I'm not. I'll have to do a demo maybe later.
AR Koryo 186, climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300, Air Koryo 186. Hey man, we're looking good. And maybe after this flight's over, I'll screen share my iPad and show you the engines are, from what I remember, they're way better in Aerofly on my iPad than they are in Microsoft, which is, that's pretty bad.
Air Koryo 186, contact Taipei Center on 126.7.
Contact Taipei Center on 126.7, Air Koryo 186. Taipei Center, good afternoon, Air Koryo 186. Currently climbing through 18,000 feet for flight level 390.
Air Koryo 86, Taipei Center, identified. Good afternoon.
Chad, I love flying with you. Will you please handle the comms for a while, please?
Yoke ready.
Appreciate you, buddy. I like how it's got the reflection of the upper deck right there. That's pretty cool. Now the reflection doesn't move, so, but it's cool that they at least have that like superimposed, like somebody just cut and paste it and put it on there. But it's still pretty cool that they have that on there.
Choreo 186, climb flight level 370.
What?
Level 370, Air Choreo 86.
Seven zero. And it looks really good. The sun shining off that water, man, that looks awesome. It should. My GPU's at 98%. Yeah, it should look good.
Air Choreo 186, climb flight level 390. Climb flight level 390, Air Choreo 86.
Now, once we get up to altitude, we're gonna increase the speed of the sim by like 2x, as I usually do. But I think now we're gonna put on some music to get that pulled up. And I will be back for top of descent. See y'all in a little bit. Seriously. See ya.
Oceanic Control on 119.565, Air Corio 86. Oceanic Control, Air Corio 86, afternoon maintaining flight level 390.
AIR Corio 86, Oceanic Control, Roger. Maintain flight level 390.
Maintain flight level 390, Air Corio 86.
AR Corio 186, contact Taipei. Center on 126.5.
Taipei Center on 126.5, Air Corio 86. Taipei Center, AAR Corio 86, evening, maintaining flight level 390. AAR Corio 86, Taipei Center identified. Good evening. Taipei Center, contact Fukuoka Control on 123.9ers. Switching to Fukuoka Control on 123.9ers. Air Choreo 86. Fukuoka Control, AR Choreo 86, evening, maintaining flight level 390. Air Choreo 86, Fukuoka Control identified, good evening. Center on 128.375, Air Choreo 186. Engine Center, Air Choreo 186, morning, maintaining flight level 390.
Air Choreo 186, Engine Center, good morning.
arrival, proceeding direct to Tazo, Air Koryo 186.
Well. We're back. Top of descent's coming up. I know what our system says here, but we have top of descent here, so I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm gonna plug in a lower altitude and arm VNAV. Let VNAV do its thing. Our system here says we have 100 miles left, but I don't believe that. Since we just switched our landing. Let's look at the chart for... If you haven't hit like or subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? Just do it.
Descend via Max 2 mic into engine. Descending via Max 2 mic into engine. Air Choreo 86.
We're going to descend in a few miles anyways. We'll just let it do its thing here. Alright, where is this chart? RNAV is 34 right. That's not it. This one? Yeah, this is it here. Yeah, they switched up the landing. We were supposed to land on 15 right or left, I think it was.
AR Choreo 186. Cross Delta Echo 030 at 9,000. Cross Delta Echo 030 at 9,000. Air Choreo 86.
Let's start descending now. Now the system already put in our course for landing. If we go under nav, rad right here, see it's already plugged in. I think this is off by 1 degree, but it is what we're going to leave it in there. I did put a fix in here, 5 miles and 10 miles. I didn't put a bearing, I just put the mileage in to do that. Just hit the symbol and then whatever mileage you want and the line for it. Cross DE30 at 9,000 miles. That's fixed. Alright, we need 9,000 miles here. So let's plug that in. It's a horrible case here. I'm watching this interview this Mike Vargo guy. Killed this other dude. Supposedly killed him. I mean, he was found guilty in court, but I mean, I don't know. I guess he killed him. Man, they when they after they killed this guy, they supposedly they found the kid's remains. I think it was a 15-year-old kid that he killed. I think they found his remains in 3 different bins or 3 different locations. Pretty wild. And this looks so good. Trust me, that auto FPS is doing a good job. And the reason our primary flight display, the reason why this indicator next to the altitude is in yellow is because that's VNAV, and we're not in line with what VNAV is supposed to be calculating for us. But we're already a little high for where we should be anyways. But once again, Sayintentions switched up our flight plan on us. They do it every time. You know, when you call out in the beginning IFR clearance with Sayintentions, that's supposed to be they're supposed to pull your flight plan from SimBrief and copy it, and that's what you're flying. But almost every time they give me a different runway and a different arrival. And okay, we're starting to come back in line with VNAV. We might actually be able to arm VNAV now. Alright, VNAV is now armed. February we're supposed to be at 9,000. I mean at 18,000. This is where we're going to be at 18,000 here. DE30 we're supposed to be at 9,000, so I'll put this down to 15. Might need to take over control. Looks like we might be okay. Gonna be cutting it close. We may have to ride the spoilers a little bit. We didn't set our auto brake. Let's just set that to 3.
AR Corio 186, cross the village 7000, altimeter 1012. Cross the field at 7000, altimeter 1012, Air Corio 86.
And 230, 7,000. Ride the spoilers just a little bit. Alright, I deactivated them, guys. Look. You can stop giving a full throttle on descent. Microsoft. Microsoft, can you stop giving a full throttle on descent, please? Thank you, Microsoft. That's a really fast descent, by the way. But maybe that's how fast it does it in real... I don't know. Well, I guess we can look at the flight plan. Let's see what it says here. Here's speeds right here. Mach 0.68. True airspeed. So during descent... yeah, Mach 0.74. Okay, yeah, we're not too far off. It should be slowing down here in a moment. So now this is a different flight plan, but still, I mean, it's relatively the same altitude that we're at right now. Looks like we're going to be crossing EE30 at the right altitude. They're going to have to slow down at some point. How did that disconnect again? Actually, let's do this, and we'll do our own speed. I'm not sure why the auto throttle disconnects like that. I don't recall hitting the levers at all. Oh yeah, 14,000 is our transition altitude. Hang on a second. Let me see what pressure is. And pressure is 2991. Of course, they have us landing on a runway that's got a 5-knot tailwind instead of the one that's got a 5-knot headwind like I chose. Motherfuckers, man. These guys at Sayintentions, they make our job so much more difficult than it needs to be. All right, what is the pressure again? What did I say it was? 2991. All right, so it's like identical. All right, got the spoilers out. Get ready and see. Now, one nice thing about this airplane, you can actually change the pressure right now.
AIR Korea 186, contact Seoul approach on 119.05.
We can change it right now, and it's changing it in white. And that way, when we click on standard pressure, it'll go right to the correct pressure. There we go, 29.
AR Choreo 86, morning, descending through flight level 150 to 7,000. AR Choreo 86, Seoul approach identified. Buenos Dias, expect the ILS runway 34 right approach into Incheon via Enfield. Expecting the ILS runway 34 right approach via Enfield. AR Choreo 86.
All right, looks like we're gonna get down to our altitude in time. Traffic. 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 Where's the dude that says traffic? Where's the traffic dude at? Traffic. 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 Nobody saying anything about traffic. Isn't that dude supposed to be like traffic?
AR Corio 186, descend altitude 1600. Descending to 1600, Air Corio 86.
And click on this here, and now we can go into change it to hundreds. When it's in auto mode like this right here, when it's in auto mode, if you spin it slow, it'll do hundreds. If you spin it fast, it'll start doing thousands. So let's slow up our descent a little bit so we go down. It's kind of disappointing though that we haven't had a cabin crew. No, I chose one. Sayintentions. What are you doing? Why do I keep on paying for this if it doesn't work properly? Oh well, why do I keep doing it? We are at 9,000. That's good. Let's slow up our descent a little bit more. Usually when I'm under 10,000 feet, usually I put in minus 1,300. That always seems like a pretty good speed. I mean, pretty good descent angle to keep the airplane at speed that it's supposed to be at. All right, let's move this to 230. Put this in approach mode. That sucks. It's supposed to put the indicators here. It does it in a build, and it does it in PMDG. Oh wow, there's 10 miles right there.
Corio 186, direct infill, cleared for the ILS runway 34 right approach, infill transition. Direct infill, cleared ILS runway 34 right approach.
Thank you.
Infill transition. Air Corio 86.
We're already going direct there, but thank you. Hey, it looks so good today, man. I'm so glad I'm not doing the beta anymore with this game. Beta was just, ugh. It was terrible. All right, let's slow down our descent a little bit more. All right, let's arm the localizer. Localizer is captured. We'll arm approach mode once glide slope shows up. I know the checklist is. I know. Cancel. All right, let's slow up our descent a little bit more. Once we see the the glide slope show up on approach mode. There we go, it showed up. Let's click on approach. Glide slope is right here. You can just go in manage mode again.
IR Corey 186, contact engine tower on 118.2.
Switching to engine tower on 118.2, Air Choreo 86.
Flaps 5.
Engine tower, Air Choreo 86. Morning, we're established on the ILS approach for runway 34 right.
Bel Air Choreo 86, Incheon Tower, wind 140 at 5, runway 34 right, cleared to land.
Runway 34 right, cleared to land. AR Choreo 86.
Flaps 10. Landing gear down. Speed brake is armed. Flaps 15. Flaps 18. Flaps 25. Flaps full. Glide slope captured. High control. Take it. We'll take it. All right, I want to do something now that I said I was going to do earlier. Let's go to main menu. Let me get my iPad synced up. Let's get out of this. Let me quit the desktop. That was a fun little flight. I don't really... The airplane sucks. I mean, the sounds suck. Like, that's bad. Okay, let me see how... where's my mirror play at? Where you at, mirror play? Oh, Apple. Here we go. Air screen mirror. Okay, G-Man-C. Let's get this going. Where's mirror at? Forget how to do this. Been a little bit since I've done this. There we go. Okay. Let me get up Aerofly. Sure we can hear it. Download 787. Yeah, it's already downloaded. Okay. All right, let me forget where the sound came from on this. Display capture. Might be display capture. All right, let's come here and we'll start right here. I don't know if the sound is on or not. We'll see. Oh, it's not. All right. I'll get the sound turned on. Hang on a second. Play capture. Might be under window capture. I may have to play with this a little bit again to try to... Oh, maybe it's this one. Game capture. Oh, that's right. It's on GSX. Okay. I think I got it now. I had it on, I think I used the same virtual cable on this one that I do with the other one. Okay. I think we're good now. Let me try putting on APU. But APU, is the APU on? Hang on a second. No, okay. I just want to hear the engines. The APU is kicking on. Okay, there we go. APU is now on. Let's get Let's see if I was right in my trying to remember this. If it's sounds better than Microsoft. Oh, what happened? Unless the APU is not on. Let's see here. Yeah, that engine's starting up. We don't hear anything. Weird. Oh, the sound is so low. No wonder we can't hear anything. Why is the sound so... Hang on a second. I might have to record... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna record this and share it later. Because it's not doing it. It's not doing any justice. Yeah, you can barely hear it. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna screen share it. I'm gonna record it like with the engine starting, and we'll check it out a little bit later and see how it sounds. But yeah, from what I remember, it sounds so much better in this game than it does in whatever the hell we were just doing. Whatever the hell we were just doing. Anyways, I'll be back later today. More than likely. More than likely with X-Plane. Yep, X-Plane. That's what we gonna do. Anyway, that's about it, my friends. Hit like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode of the Airplane Show. See ya.